Welcome to the Dance Studio Empire podcast, a mix of business strategies, simple tips for studio growth and success, with a touch of inspiration, motivation, plus raw and honest conversations to ensure you are building your studio empire. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, studio owner for 30 years, dance business coach, and the author of the book, Teaching Dance Beyond the Steps. My business philosophy is creativity is our superpower, and I believe we all have the means and ability to infiltrate this into our studio. Just sometimes we can get too busy, distracted, or overwhelmed to see that. So that is exactly why I am here to help you. So if you are ready to master the art of creating demand, unravel the dance of numbers in your studio, and run your business to its full potential, then you are in the right place. Okay, let's do this. Sit back and relax, and let's get ready to build your dance studio empire. Hey Dance Fam, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Dance Studio Empire podcast. I'm going to be sharing the best and worst of 2023 in my business. I don't know about you, we are so close to the end of the year. I know some people have shut the doors for the office for the year. I have a couple of days left working for myself, and then I'll take a couple of days off over the Christmas break, but then be sort of still in it. There's something about being on holidays that I love working, which is a bit of a hypocritical statement because I am very much for rest and recover. I do get that. And I think it's very important, and I think you should do it and prioritize it. However, I just love the space that you have when you're on holidays. There's no external pressures. There isn't people wanting your attention all the time. And so for me, I just feel like I get so much done. I get time to really focus in and grow and develop during that period. And so that excites me. Even the beginning of January, we're jumping on a cruise and we're going away for 10 days or something, and I'm just so excited to be there with my laptop and just continue working through, which for me is relaxation. So no pressure for you, but it does excite me. I have to be honest. All right, but the other part of this time of year is I love hearing everybody's wrap up of their year, and I also really enjoy hearing what has worked for people, what hasn't, where people have won, where they've lost, and the wins and the failures. I love hearing about it because it's all growth to me. And those people that do share it, thank you. I appreciate it. And so I thought I would just share mine in the hopes that maybe it might inspire you to reflect on your own wins and challenges from the past year. So this is me. I'm going to be laying it all out for you, and just welcome to the rollercoaster ride that was my business in 2023. Okay, so I'm going to start with the best things that happened in my business, and I'm going to start with the studio as a whole. So we definitely had our best year with enrollments up, and we've more than surpassed our pre-COVID numbers. So we are playing at a level where we were several years ago before the diabolical disaster that COVID was. Our dance year started with a really high retention rate, and this was off the back of a great concert the year before. There were quite a few families in the studio who had been there for a while, and you know how when you can just sense that sometimes they're coming to the end of their time, and I think it's natural. I think there's a natural attrition where sometimes it is time for people to move on. But there were a few families like that. But after this concert, everyone was reinvigorated, re-inspired, and just re-enrolled. So it was fabulous. So we started the year with a great retention rate, great re-enrollment numbers, and then new enrollments as well. So good start. We did take a bit of a risk, and we offered a couple of new class options. And so that's always a bit tricky because I'm messing around with the timetable a little bit, putting in new classes. There is an expense with that, but I'm happy to say that they filled to capacity very quickly. I strategically placed those classes knowing what times and days were popular, and so it worked, and so that worked out really well as well. I had a very solid team who supported each other. And this was due heavily to the fact that they were confidently led by my studio manager. And so my team as a whole, they report directly to her, the studio manager, and she just was able to maintain communication and do the best by the team, support them, and also support me as well in her role. And it was such a great way to run a year when you have that solid team. And our enrollment numbers stayed steady throughout the year. And so that also comes back to the teachers in the classroom. They were delivering, they were following through on our expectations, and it became evident at our concert. And that is the best. We had the best ever end of year concert this year, and receiving such beautiful messages of gratitude and love was huge for me. Definitely made my best list, and of course, like selling my studio after an incredible 30 years to the perfect person who will continue to nurture, grow, and respect the legacy that I built. And, I feel I've sold the studio to her at a peak. It's at a high. So she's not coming in to try and salvage the business or try to make it work. It's working. It's at peak. And so it's really hers to lose or hers to fail at, which I have absolutely no doubt that she will not fail at all. She'll absolutely smash it. But I feel great that I have left it at that position for her, and she's just ready to run, and she will run fast with it. So that is super exciting. Okay, my next best is starting our mastermind. So back in January, I started our first round of masterminds, which I called Align, and I ended up working with 7 incredible studio owners throughout this year. Now, what I loved about this is these studio owners, they trusted me, they did the work, they innovated, they tried new things, they pushed their boundaries, they rode that roller coaster of what it means to grow your studio and supported each other every step of the way. We had a 3-day retreat on the coast, we had guest speakers, professional photos taken, a tarot card reader came in for a bit of fun. But watching the breakthroughs was simply soul-filling, well, for me anyway. And this has now led to the evolution of what is to come in 2024, being the Dance Studio Scaled Mastermind, which is starting in March. And if you haven't heard about it already, keep listening to episodes coming up. I'll be giving you more information. But I am just so excited to level myself up and deliver and support my community even more. So that is definitely a best. Okay, my next best was running the Business of Dance conference back in July. It feels like a distant memory now, but for many years, I have been talking about wanting to hold a conference strictly for dance studio owners who want to connect and collaborate in person with like-minded people while gaining the know-how you need from industry experts and outside of our industry experts, specifically for business growth. So I know we have options for dance conferences, and there's a lot of teaching opportunities as well for learning, but it's the business growth for studio owners is where my sole focus is and always has been. And so to be able to put on this event, it was fun. It was challenging because it was something new for me. So I loved the accomplishment and the feeling of that, but it was fun. And the feedback was super positive. Probably the biggest bit of feedback was that people wanted it for 2 days, not 1 day. So that was definitely taken on board. And I will be running it again next year in July, August. So definitely mark your diaries. It was an event not to be missed. And so, yeah, keep your ears out for that one. And then finally, my best, and it was hard to decide, but finally was finding my business coach and joining my own mastermind. Honestly, it was a game changer. I love her. I love my coach. I love the community. I love the structure and the support. And I'm using that as an inspiration to bring into my new version of the mastermind in 2024. So I had been looking for the right coach and community for me for quite a while. And then right when I needed it, I found her as she was opening up her mastermind. It was absolute divine timing, and I'm so grateful for that. So as I mentioned, being part of this has really been a game changer for me and the business. Oh, it's just like the power of a coach. That is why I'm so passionate about serving and supporting others, like particularly in my community, because I know the impact it's had on me, and I just want to be able to give that same impact to other dance studios. I just wanted to let you know that spaces will be released for my Dance Studio Scaled Mastermind in 2024 very, very soon. If you want to be coached by me to elevate your studio and access one of these super limited spaces of the mastermind, here's what you're going to need to do. You need to be on the waitlist, which you can simply do by going to jendalton.com.au/waitlist to find out all the information you need. Or if you know that you're already really interested, introduce yourself to me by sliding into my DMs and sharing what you'd love to find out more about with Dance Studio Scaled for 2024. And I will simply send you the info. So again, the waitlist is jendalton.com.au/waitlist, and then slide into my DMs after and make yourself known. Now, let's get back to the episode. All right, that wraps up the best. So now onto the worst. So the first one has to be navigating the economic crisis and watching it impact our families. This has been hard and awful to watch. We were receiving emails from longtime families asking to reduce classes or even some needing to leave. And I feel like that we stepped up and offered support the best we could, but it was still just not viable for some to continue. And that was heartbreaking because it was out of our control. It was out of my control. I couldn't strategize my way out of that one. And so that was hard. And then also seeing that the cost of business rise significantly. And I'm sure you are living this as well. But I can feel the impact of it. It's eating into the profit. And for me, I was a bit annoyed at myself because I didn't identify it soon enough to find alternatives to help the situation. And so this is from costuming to merchandise, even to the venue costs for our concerts. It has definitely required some innovation and strategy to work through. And it is still a work in progress, but really, isn't running a studio always a work in progress? Yes, it is. But I definitely found just annoyed that I didn't identify it as quickly as I would have liked and to start trying to fix the problem. But anyway, live and learn. See, I'm still learning as well. Okay, my next worst was having to say goodbye to my virtual assistant, my VA, who has been with me for 7 or 8 years, I think. And this is just part of having to manage our financial challenges as well. I had to let her go. And we had built a strong working relationship. And although I never met her in person, I still really felt like we had a bond. So saying goodbye was really hard, but necessary. And as I often say to you guys, we have to make the right decision for the business, even when they are hard. So that was a lesson. And finally, my last worst had to be saying goodbye to my dance families. So as you probably know, I have sold my business after 30 years. There have been some families who have been around for a long, long time. In fact, I forget how long some of them have been here. And it wasn't until I was watching a slideshow that the teachers had put together about, moving through the 30 years that I realized that some of our now teachers were in primary school and little. It just, you do forget because the time does go so fast. But having watched them grow from the minis through to our teens and then, as I said, into assistant teachers and into senior teachers is such a privilege. And I really don't take that for granted. Teaching the children of my former students is also a really big honor, and we have several of those in the studio. So it is really sad to say goodbye. But I know it's right and I feel good. The decision's right. I feel good about it. I feel good about who it's going to. And I know the sky is the limit for them as they move forward. Okay, so that was the last of my worst. Now, putting this together, I definitely had a lot more bests than worsts. So I think that's a pretty good balance. But as we wrap up the year together, I do want to leave you with this thought. Now, no matter what 2023 brought, remember your growth often happens in the messy, unpredictable space. So we want to embrace the lessons. We need to celebrate our wins and let those challenges that we have fuel our determination for how we are going to keep getting ahead. So here's to closing this chapter, knowing that every twist and turn has shaped us for the better. As we step into the new year, let's just carry the wisdom of what we learned from the past and take it into the future with excitement. Your journey is uniquely yours. I keep saying it. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Just keep focused on yourself. And there is incredible power in owning every part of it. And this is what I'm seeing with our community now. So, cheers to the lessons learned, the resilience that you may have discovered in yourself this year, and the adventures that are yet to come. Until next time, keep chasing those dreams and making each moment count. And that's a wrap for this week's episode. I'm so grateful to have you listen each week. If you found today's episode valuable, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could take a moment to rate, 5 stars of course, and leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback empowers me to keep delivering insightful content. To ensure you never miss an episode, hit that subscribe button and be sure to follow me on Instagram @_JenDalton_ and join our private Facebook group, Dance Studio Empire. Until next time, keep dancing, keep thriving, and keep building your dance studio empire.